Raggy, Raggy, Raggy.
Raggy, Raggy, Raggy.
Raggy, a raggy, a raggy, a raggy, a raggy, a raggy, a raggy. Firstly, I still haven't updated the thing. Secondly, we will not be talking about different positions tonight. Right, let's get the mods up.
Let's get them up. Legit. Troy.
Evening.
And Jared.
Yo.
Right, and then we are joined by the only Dave's Little Beasties.
Yay!
Dave.
Doing Dave.
How are we?
Dave.
I'm good, thank you, man. You?
Oh, not so bad. Busy.
Finally, we've got you on here.
Yeah.
Dave's a busy guy.
Yeah,
I'm
he is.
excited.
Everyone's invited.
Yeah.
Who have we got in the chat?
Who have we got in the
Jeez,
chat?
there's a lot. There's a lot since we gone live. So we got Diana. We got Peter. Is it Mazdamundi?
Mazdamundi.
Tarantula Arc.
Tarantula Art, Secret Forest Creatures. Hi, Tanya.
Hi, Tanya.
We got Becky.
Hi, Tanya.
Did you have a good birthday, Tanya?
No, I don't think her birthday was that good.
I think it was that good.
No, I think they were saying on the Tarantula Tuber Saturday Night Takeaway about it.
I wasn't there. I fell asleep on the sofa and missed another one, dude. Sorry.
Coming a regular coup, it's that.
By the sounds of it, it got a bit wild later on in the evening.
Yeah, what did
I think Richard was
they
there.
were on till like stupid o'clock in the morning, weren't they?
It was
I think
interesting.
Kieran was.
Yeah, it ended up at the end just being Kieran, me, and Tarantula Art sitting there for a while.
I popped back in and I was like, "Oh my God, y'all are still streaming? All right."
There we go, we got David. Great chat.
Danny
I
went
went to work on the Sunday before, and they're still streaming.
Yeah, Danny's running it like 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, like 10-hour stream.
See, we've spoken about actually streaming to the point where like the sort of guest comes off and then finishing the stream.
Yeah.
And then like relaunching it. But then we thought about the after party thing, but it doesn't really work. I think we should, maybe consider
Draw a line. If anybody in the comments has got any questions for Dave, shoot them up.
Don't ask.
What's up, PSP?
Hi, PSP. You've been a bit busy with the streams, haven't you, Dave?
Yeah. It was on the Balfour one last week.
Where's that Wednesday one?
That was pretty cool. That was very interesting, actually. We had some good chat on there.
Yeah.
We covered a lot of different things. So yeah, that was really cool. I actually enjoyed that a lot.
Yeah, now you're in Raggies, you won't get that interesting, Che.
No. Come over to the dark side, they said.
This is the dark side, yeah.
What's up, Deadly Tarantula Girl?
How's the Cecil, Dave?
Yeah, I tried him once.
Yeah.
And it was quite strange, but she launched herself across the tank. She jumps really well. And she launched herself across the tank. They had a little grapple on the floor, and then they split. Oh, wow. And then they were calm. But then I ran out of time, basically, so I separated them. So I'm going to try him again this weekend. I've got another female that started tapping on the side of her tub. So I think she might be ready. But I've got 6 mature females. So, we're just going to have to see what... But, I mean, she came out and walkabout. Yeah, she came out and went on walkabout. I'll put a little video up, actually, on my channel, on my Facebook thing. And, she was pretty calm outside.
There's a story behind that, Saley. It was given to me, and someone gave me a load of pots with spiders in, and then when I got home, I saw it, and it's one of them. Saley is one of them ones that gives me, like there's one spider. And when I opened the lid one day, and I was like, "Where the hell is it?" And it had gone, and it was on the side. It had gone out of the pot before I had a chance to see it had gone, and it creeped my wife out. So I said to Troy when I was meeting him a few weeks ago, "Do you want a Saley?" And he was like, "Yeah." Unbeknownst to me, it had molted like without me noticing and turned male. And he messaged me and went, "That was a male, dude." I was like, I didn't want to mess with it. It was so fast, unbelievably fast.
I've actually found when I'm messing around with them, I just open the pots up and leave them loose, so they can go wherever they want, really. And it seems like the less I worry about them doing a run, the less likely they seem to want to do one.
Yeah. See, I just treat it the same as my other spiders. I take the lids off willy-nilly and I'm looking and then I'll talk and I'm like, oh, the lid's off that. No problem. I took the lid off it and it had got out I didn't even see it get out.
Wow. Yeah, they are super fast. Yeah. And I watched her. She jumped from her tank to a plant that was probably about 16, 17 inches away, and she jumped clean.
Wow.
Literally, that was. She actually looked at that plant and thought, "Yeah, I want to be over there," and she literally jumped clean onto the plant.
Wow.
And I was quite surprised because that sort of, in a way, when you're handling them and you're doing things, you think you're at a safe distance, where obviously 16, 17 inches ain't safe enough.
Wow.
You know, they're clear to jump. They're fascinating spiders. Really cool.
Yeah, I don't know why. It just gives me the willies. It just set me off. I don't know why. I'm fine with all the others.
Yeah.
It might have been after at that time because it moves in such a strange way.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's like huntsman spiders.
If you get any students, we've got to send Jaden
Freak
some.
me out.
There's a few questions, Dave, that have popped up, y'all.
What's this?
Ben wants to know if there's any invertebrate you think shouldn't be in the hobby. And then he listed 2, but of course I suck with Latin, so.
With
Ben's pets.
I don't think so.
I think they all need to be in the hobby. The good thing about our hobby is there's something for everybody, isn't there? Something that I don't like is going to be something that you like.
Yeah, I think it's. I always think it's better if people sort of move at their own pace, and and do what they're comfortable with. And I think
Jared's in the background.
Jared's back.
Yeah, I think it's. I think sometimes there seems to be a little bit of stigma to own certain things, and I think it's just better if people move at their own pace. But I don't think there's anything in the hobby that shouldn't be.
No.
I know there's a big thing about the DWA stuff at the moment, isn't there?
Yeah.
often a lot of
If
that
you've got
floating
it,
around.
If you've got the relevant license,
I'm
why not?
pretty sure that there's a lot that a lot of things at the minute that people are seeing that they can own illegally and
They think it's cool.
they think it's cool to own it. Yeah, having a pit bull when you shouldn't.
Yeah, it's a real difficult one, really, because it's sort of. I think we're probably the only country that actually doesn't enforce any kind of rules on that side of things. Whereas everywhere else, it seems to be pretty much a freedom of movement, really.
Yeah,
I think Darcy was saying the other week there, some states in America, some allow and some don't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It varies state by state here. You know, like, in Florida, you can get licensing to own venomous snakes and stuff like that. But like in other states like Michigan right now, they're talking about banning all reptiles.
Wow. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that New York's got pretty stringent laws on not owning any tarantula, hasn't it?
I'm not sure. I haven't spent a whole lot of time in New York.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that someone was saying that they couldn't own certain things because they were in New York. I might be wrong.
I know in like Connecticut you can't sell tarantulas privately.
Wow.
See, that it's crazy, huh?
It's really interesting, isn't it, how different places are so, we sort of moan and gripe about our rules, and yet,
Yeah.
I guess we're quite free compared to a lot of places.
Yeah,
There's a lot of stuff that you can't send past state lines over here now.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty sure Australia is pretty tight. You can't pretty much own anything that isn't from the country, really. I don't think. Can you?
Yeah, they're very strict, aren't they, with their native fauna? They don't allow much coming in, and they don't. I know. I used to do quite a bit with parrots and stuff, and they don't actually like export either.
No.
So things like over here, things like galahs are really popular. And they get quite a premium as well. And yet over there, they're not as pests. Yet you try and export them, and it's a nightmare. You don't want to know. Yeah.
So Deadly Tarantula Girl just said that she's doing a live tonight about the proposal on Michigan.
Yeah.
Send me a link to that because I got a friend in Michigan that owns like rattlesnakes and stuff like that. He'd probably be really interested in that.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Let's have a look what else people are saying in there. Becky said that she'd love a black widow.
I could probably go outside
Yeah,
and
Black
find
Widow.
one.
When we go to Las Vegas, my children hunt for them in the garden. I'm like, just don't pick them up. Why? I'm like, just don't.
this is where I think it
Yeah,
gets,
bunnies.
I think that's where it gets awkward, isn't it? Because a lot of things like black widows in America and that, people don't worry about them at all. You know, it's
No.
just part of life. Whereas over here, they're sort of treated as something that's really nasty and terrible, and that's not the case.
No.
That's where there's a lot of argument and upset between the DWA laws in this country compared to like the rest of Europe and wherever else. You know, there's a lot of things that, you know, to some, it's a real difficult one because I've dealt with them all over the years, and same with venomous snakes and things like that. And it's, you know, when you're used to something, you realise it's not actually that bad.
Yeah.
But then the law is there to stop the idiots.
Yeah.
But then who's to say who's an idiot? This is the problem.
I mean, I've got a lot of friends that live in Las Vegas, and I've said to them, I said, have you ever actually been bitten by any of these? They're like, no. They said, we get bitten by things now and again, but sometimes, most of the time, you don't even know what's bitten you until you've already been bitten.
Yeah. I think, I mean, in some respects, that's the same within the hobby, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because you see a lot of old world tarantulas, everyone's always spouting on about the toxicity of their venom. And, you know, oh, you shouldn't get an old world unless you've done this and done that and all the rest of it. I mean, you know, and then when you look at the actual cases, how many people actually get bitten by a tarantula?
Only the people that mess around with them when they shouldn't.
Yeah. If you look at it in a percentages type of way, look how many people in the hobby, how many bite reports there are a year.
Yeah.
Minimal, isn't it? I mean, it's negligible.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I've come close a couple of times when I'm trying to catch one of my spiders. Twice was by the same one, which was Formictica. But I've never even come close to being threat posed or attacked by my pokies or any of my old worlds. The rest of you, it's when you start going in with the tweezers and put your fingers in and trying to get it to come out.
Sussex Empire has been bitten once by is it Trigger Swelly? They got out at feeding time.
Is that the one that bit him under the armpit? Am I thinking of the right person?
I think it was, maybe.
It ran up his
The
arm.
question's back, what was it doing under his arm?
It ran up his arm. I'm pretty sure if it's him, it was only a small one as well.
Oh, wow.
That's the
The
one.
camel spider?
I think it ran out of the pot up his arm and bit him under the armpit.
Yeah, the camel spider, yeah.
And then we've got Bailey. Me, I got bit by a chili rose years ago.
I mean,
I took a bite from a Asimani about 15 years ago. It was a dry bite on the back of my left hand.
Ben got bitten by the same jumping spider twice.
He doesn't learn. I love you, Ben. I'm just kidding.
Let's not forget his little pygmy scorpion or whatever that got him too.
Really?
Yeah, but in all fairness, Ben has no fear, does he?
Well, see, I can relate to Ben.
I won't say I've got a fear. I've got a healthy respect. I mean, I'm a little bit old.
Yeah, I'll hit him up right after this stream. And yeah, I'll hit him up right after the stream and shoot that over.
Cool. Deadly Tarantula Gale got bit by a sea versicolor. Just mentioned that on their stream.
Marita, I just wanted to say hi and thanks for joining our stream. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for joining Raggy as well. I saw that post pop up.
It's nice when you've been watching somebody for so long and it's like,
I did propose to her the other night, coming on to a Raggy stream one of these days.
More than welcome.
I did put that idea out there the other night on TTSNT. She joined us for a little bit on there as well.
Yeah, I missed it. I was off when she came on.
Yeah, you were already gone, Jay.
I heard it was eventful though.
We had a good time.
Yeah, it would be really, really nice to have a conversation with her. Her knowledge is incredible. Your knowledge is incredible. I talk like you're not even here.
Yeah. I talk like she's not here, not watching.
When I asked Dave to come on, I told him that he was being referred to as like the likes of Tom Moran. Tom Moran.
He is the new Tom Moran. He's the UK Tom Moran.
The UK Tom Moran.
Tom on here too.
I get messaged quite a lot.
Give him a couple months.
I always say, if it's something that I don't know, I'm like, you need to go and ask someone like Dave from Dave's Little Beasties or something like that. He'll know.
Dave, I go to you with quite a lot of stuff sometimes, don't I?
Yeah.
I just randomly pop up like Dave.
I think the thing is, sort of like you end up sort of understanding things in your own little field, don't you?
Yeah.
And it's like a lot of New Worlds. Sometimes people come up with things about New Worlds, and I'm like, I ain't got a clue what you're talking about. I just don't know. And it's sort of weird. I think the other thing that I had quite a break from spiders for many years, and I couldn't believe when I came back into it. And same with the reptiles. I got back into the reptiles after a break, and it was like a whole new world. I couldn't believe how much things had changed and the access to stuff. Even now I still see stuff come up, and I'm like, I've never even heard of one of them before.
Yeah.
How did that come from? Yeah, it's incredible, really. I mean, even you look on Spider Shop.
Yeah.
How many times does a list come out and there's a new spider on it?
Yeah, exactly. And then within 10 seconds, it's not there.
Yeah.
I heard that.
Yeah, it's gone again, isn't it? Quick.
Yeah.
Listen,
I
there
know
was.
as well, it's like you ask for something, you're like, oh, does anyone know where X, Y, and Z is? And like Spider Shop had them 10 minutes ago. It's like, oh, they're gone.
Yeah.
I think that in our admin chat. Dave, there was another question. I don't know if it was addressed, but Tanya had actually asked about, and I have it right in front of me. I never even left it. It says, I have a question for Dave. I was watching the vid with the nursery setups. Why don't you need air in those?
Oh yeah, I keep the I use the large deli pots with just like with a muslin base on them. So that I don't know if you saw it, but it's like one pot is cut in half, so you've got no bottom to it. So you just got the top half. And then I just put a bit of stocking over it and then squeeze that into the next one. And there's water in the full one. And then I keep a sealed lid on top. Basically, it doesn't matter how many spiderlings you put in there. They don't breathe oxygen like we do. So they're not going to run out of oxygen, basically. And them pots aren't exactly airtight anyway. And the reason I don't bother putting any air holes in there is because it keeps the humidity up in there as well. So it stays high. And for things like if you've pulled a sack and you've got eggs with legs and things like that, humidity is really, really important. If they dry out in any way, you'll lose them basically. So I don't put any air holes in it at all. But then once a week, I'll open it up and just have a little look and see what happens. And that little exchange of air is more than enough.
Right.
Yeah, they don't breathe like we do, so they don't use that oxygen. It's the same as a sling pot. You often hear people worrying about keeping a sling in a sling pot. And if any of my true spiders, when they're tiny, huntsmans, things like that, I generally keep them in sling pots, and I don't put any air ventilation in them either. And I mean that could live in there, crikey, pretty much forever. The amount of oxygen in there that it needs,
And I've also, someone said to me the other day, they were talking about the same thing, and they said, before it runs out of oxygen, you're going to open the lid and feed it or water it, and it's going to let more oxygen in.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Kind of like keeping a springtail colony. You just open it every once in a while when you go to feed it, and that exchanges the air in it.
Yeah, that is all it needs. It's getting people to realise that not everything is the same as us. No. They don't get hungry like we do. They don't pig out like we do. I think the majority, especially new people to the hobby, and that they get confused because their first point of focus, I suppose, is the animal, but then they compare it to themselves, and then they try and work out how to go around it like that. But it's very different from you, so it's an entirely different thing.
And there are so many people, or not people, but pages out there that give information that is not factually correct. It's hard to sift through what you should need, to the point where sometimes you have to read 10 different articles to sift out the bits on each one that you need.
Yeah, I always say to people that contact me that they should contact other people that's doing the same thing as what they want them, what they're interested in. And then once you've got 2 or 3, you only need a couple, but just get 2 or 3 people that are being successful with what they're doing, and then glean information from them. Because I always say, what works for me doesn't necessarily work for you. So, it's not. This is one of the big problems. I think people look at people that are doing something and then they think, oh, that's the be all and end all, and then they get upset because they can't get it to work for them. And it's done. I mean, I've copied other people with things, and I mean, a good example, actually, a really good example. You all know Steve Thornton.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He's horrid assassin bugs. Now, I often speak with Steve, and I cannot, for the life of me, get my buggers to breed. And I don't know why. I have tried all sorts of things. I've done everything. And the little sod still won't breed. And yet I speak to him, and he's like, I don't know what you're doing wrong. He said, just do this. They're flying out the door,
One of the guys that lives near me, Dave Wurzel, he's kindly given my son a couple of 2-spot assassins that I'm going to pick up this week.
Yeah. Oh, they're fascinating.
He's obviously got up to breed.
Yeah. I mean, they're absolutely brilliant things. I had the funny thing was I had some orange spot assassins, and those buggers bred like hell. I couldn't stop them. They were going really well. I'm sad that I actually got rid of them because I decided to get out of all that side of things for a little while, and I wish I'd never sold them because they were stunning, and they make a really nice exhibit as well. It's something nice to look at. But yeah, the Horriders, I ain't got open hell. I don't know what the bloody hell I'm doing wrong. So yeah, it's different things. It doesn't always work.
We talked about last week how, like, me living here in Las Vegas, being in the desert, keeping tarantulas for me is going to be different than like Darcy on the other side of the country in Tennessee. We're not going to be able to keep things the same way because what works there in a more humid environment than what is here isn't going to work,
Yep. And it's true. People forget about their location. Look, it's all about learn as much as you can and then play around with it and see what works for you.
Definitely.
But the base knowledge is key. Base knowledge is key. Dave, I have learned so much from you. I don't think you realize the impact that your videos have. I really don't. Your husband, the humidity video that you did, it clicked so many things for me because that's something that a lot of people get hung up on. You see it all the time. Well, I'm keeping it at this temperature and I'm keeping it at this humidity. But what they fail to realize is their ambient humidity. And then they're increasing the humidity in the tank, and now they have a stuffy enclosure and their stuff is smothering. Yeah. So that was extremely beneficial for me.
Yeah, the reason behind that video is because I saw the same thing with reptiles. It seems like an awful lot of people have a real barrier in their minds, and it's understanding that humidity isn't something you see. Whereas most of them think water droplets on the side of the tank is humidity, so they see it. Right. And this is where you'll see people, they'll put a post up and then someone will come on and they go, oh, that looks really wet. And the first thing they do is say, oh, I've only just sprayed it. And you're like, well, it doesn't work quite like that. Humidity is something you can't see. It's, it's there. And you can have, I only brushed over it, really. It was, I done it really just as like just a sort of a breeze over, really, just to see what kind of response it gave, and whether it was going to be worth doing something a bit more in depth afterwards. But it's just, I don't know, it's getting people to understand you can't actually see it, so it's not something you can visually say, oh look, that's humid, and no, that one isn't. I mean, most of my tanks are for sort of tropical spiders, and yet most of them are bone dry. So there's a big difference. I'm actually going to do after Christmas. I'm going to set up a load of fire enclosures and see, because I want to sort of see if I can get away without actually spraying as such. So concentrate.
Enclosures?
Bioactive enclosures.
Bioactive, okay.
Yeah, and see how that works with regarding the spiders.
The thing is, as well, people don't actually realise we actually have quite high humidity in the UK, apart from obviously winter when central heating's on.
That's right. Yeah. It's quite a the actual relative humidity in your house, just in any room in your house, will be around about 50%. And an awful lot of your spiders don't really require much more than that.
No.
So
a lot less.
Yeah, and those that do require a lot more, they don't require it in the form of a good soaking.
It's actually very achievable with a water dish and the placement of the water dish.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And see, that was key. It's like when you said it that way, it made so much sense. It's like where you place your water dish, especially for your arboreals. Terrestrials, you can't very well lift it up off the ground, but where your arboreals are, that's where they need their humidity, not down toward the base, because like you said, then it creates all this stuffiness. It really, you had so many valuable key points in that video. I hope that you do another one with a little touch on it a little more in depth.
Yeah, I think it's it got a good response, I must admit. It was interesting to see people's views and their comments on it. Because that's the other important thing as well. When you put the videos out, is getting the comments back.
Right.
So so whether you're going in the right direction or you're putting things across in the right way or whatever. It's it's difficult to judge a quiet audience, put it that way. So I think it's I'm open to it.
That, dude.
Hey?
I said I get that.
You have a way of sharing your knowledge that pretty much anybody can understand. Some people, it's like they're speaking Japanese. You are not that way. It's very, very easy to understand what you're saying and put it into practice. And that's beneficial. Why do you think I share your videos everywhere? I'm like, I want another great video, Dave. Because, I mean...
I do appreciate it.
But listen, I'm not going to share something that I don't believe in. Like, I researched a year, maybe a little more, maybe about a year and a half before I ever bought my first one. And had you been making videos during that time, I would have definitely been subscribed to your channel, regardless of my location, because you have such key knowledge.
Oh, thank you. It's nice to hear.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Your number one fan.
You guys already know. I don't sugarcoat it. I don't. I say it like it is, and if you like it, cool, and if you don't, sorry.
Go quickly back to the
and that's why I share them everywhere, like Tom Moran and Richard and Deadly Tarantula Girl and Tarantula Haven. I mean, there are videos that are key for husbandry and care. And then there are videos that you watch for entertainment. So for any husbandry and care, and how many times have you seen your name in something for Dave's Little Beasties from me?
Yeah.
Because you have the knowledge that we need.
nipping quickly back to the P. Horrider. Bailey's Bugs put on Bailey's Bugs blog. It just takes them a while. My Horrider also lay into sphagnum moss.
I've got moss in the bottom of mine, and they've been in there. They got to be in there 4 months now, easy. And yeah, it still ain't happening. I need to have a word with them.
You keep yours in an arboreal setup, don't you?
I do, yeah, and that's it's something actually I spoke to with Steve because he's on like a terrestrial setup, and I'm going to have a bit of a revamp over Christmas. I'm just waiting till I'm off work for Christmas, and yeah, you'll see there's going to be some big changes this end, and I'm going to get it all done. And one of my jobs to do over that period is to actually turn them into a terrestrial tank, and I'm going to see if that makes any difference. I'm not convinced it will, but I'm willing to give anything a try.
I haven't done much research on them yet because I haven't picked them up. But is there anything I need to watch out when I pick my assassin bugs up? Are they something that I need to be careful of? Or
yeah, get some fertile ones.
I wanted to get some.
I think mine are all gender neutral or something. I'm not sure. Something's going on. But
tank full of boys.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. I think they're really difficult actually because I know Steve, he keeps his with some slightly moist substrate.
Yeah.
Others say keep them bone dry, and they're both getting results. And this is where it's funny actually because I often refer to like our beginners end up in trouble because there's so much information, and I am literally that beginner. I am in trouble because there's so much information. I'm going backwards and forwards and getting nowhere. And it's really, yeah, it's bloody frustrating, to be honest with you.
A lot of things like that, though, are quite adaptable to how you keep them. They will live pretty much anywhere, won't they?
Well, yeah, this has always been the other thing. This is something that was very prevalent in the reptile world going back probably 20 years, 30 years ago. You used to judge your skill level and your husbandry techniques on whether it survived. If it lived for a year, you were pretty good at what you were doing. You know, you had it sussed, and I think unfortunately, this is one of the things that's hitting the spider hobby, is that they're very very good at surviving.
Yeah,
with the worst possible care, and I think this is one of the real problems with misinformation. And I'll be honest with you, my absolute pet hate in the hobby, and it's always been there, is, well, if it's warm enough for me to sit in there with a t-shirt, it's warm enough for my spider. I've got a friend of mine who can sit outside in a snowstorm in a t-shirt and not get a goosebump. If I went out there, I'll be like a block of dots.
In a t-shirt.
Yeah, it's just like, you know, how do I don't get where that came from.
I feel the cold easy.
Yeah. Yeah,
not really easy.
Not surprised, nothing on you.
It's because he spends his life sat in that room. It's like 80 odd degrees in there all the time.
You need to come and live up north.
You know, and I think this is where common sense comes in. And although I don't know why we've named it common sense, because it's not common.
Not very common. Yeah.
No, because it's called common sense because it should be common.
Yeah, well, it's not. They should call it uncommon sense because not everybody has sense.
It's like I normally keep my house at like 60 degrees because I like it cold. You know, and that's comfortable for me. I can sit around here in nothing but a pair of shorts and I'm perfectly fine. My wife, on the other hand, will be all bubbled up under a blanket. But since we started up our collection again, my house stays at a higher temperature. I make that sacrifice for it.
I just noticed that Angel from Tarantula Act said that she's always cold. She lives in Arizona.
Yeah.
I'm always cold too.
He's cold. No.
What temperature do you keep your spider room at, Dave?
Generally around about 80 degrees. If I've got if I've got sacks and everything either imminent or on the go, then I keep my room around about 80. If I've got nothing breeding wise, like now, I'd start sort of slowing down, and I'd drop my room down to sort of low 70s for a couple of months, and just let everything go right down real low, and then I bring the temperature up naturally as it starts getting warmer outside. So as spring comes on, it starts getting a little warmer. I up it a little bit. But then in the height of summer, my room can be sat up in the sort of 90, mid 90s at times. I suffer no issues.
Celsius.
Sorry?
What's that in Celsius?
90 is about 33.
Yeah. So I think.
Yeah. See, this room in the summer gets to about like over 30 sometimes. It can get to that like when it's a really hot.
Yeah. See, I don't really suffer any problems with the excessive heat. I know we see a lot in the groups come summertime. People are panicking and they got fans going and all sorts of stuff on the go, and I don't worry about it at all. You know, the most I will do would be to draw the blinds on the window.
I think the biggest mistake that people would make in the summer is spraying them all.
Definitely.
Yeah. Making it.
Hey, that could be easily said for the winter too, when the heat is kicking on and it's sucking all the moisture out of your.
But I have noticed, since I've been putting the heating on recently more, I have noticed that my moisture is drying out a lot quicker.
Yeah.
But obviously, but I never struggle with the heat because I'm an air conditioning engineer, so I just pull in an air conditioning unit and.
I don't know. I keep my.
Your tanks are drying out because when you put your central heating on, you're actually taking away the ambient air humidity within your house.
Yes.
So once that's gone, then your tanks will drop down as well.
Yeah.
Right.
And
obviously, it's being sucked out.
People that use air conditioning there's a lot of people that I have noticed that have air conditioning in their houses. Air conditioning is a natural dehumidifier when it's in cooling. That sucks nearly a litre of water out of the air every couple of hours.
Wow. Yeah. So it speaks for itself, doesn't it? You know, it's sort of puts you in that direction. It shows you what it's doing.
Yes.
I mean, once you take away, it's a bit like taking oxygen out of a room. You know, it's the same effect, really.
Yeah.
You've got something that's reliant on high humidity. If you was to compare that to us with oxygen,
my kids are screaming. 2 seconds. Sorry.
It would be the same, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
You know, you start sucking the oxygen out, we start feeling poorly, and then before you know it, we're on our backs.
Yeah.
And it's the same with something that's humid dependent. Same thing.
Indeed.
I had a conversation with Jaden the other day. I've been thinking about actually taking the spiders, putting them out in the sheds outside. And he said, "Are you going to keep it warm?" I was like, "Well, I'll insulate it." And then he asked how I'd keep it cool in the summer. And I said, "Well, if you go for good enough insulation, it actually keeps the heat out as well."
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then, I mean, there are a lot of people that keep their tarantulas and stuff outside in sheds, but I'd always worry that the heating would click off or something would go wrong, and they'd all die, and I'd be panicking.
That would be me.
If I do it, I'd use at least 75mm insulation.
Yeah, I done it. I put up a project build on my channel some months ago of a reptile room that I built, and that was in a garage, and I insulated it all, done everything, and then how I kept everything was on. All of my reptiles were all on individual ceramic heaters, which were running all the time, and then I kept 2 room heaters going as well. So basically what was happening was of a night time, most of the things, because your lights and everything all go off, the temperature starts to drop down gradually overnight. I also had fans in there as well, but the 2 room heaters were there literally just to kick in if it dropped below a certain level.
Yeah.
And the reason I used 2 was purely like you were saying, it was that it's just one. If one packs up, the other one will kick in. you know, and it'll work the same. And it's I never had issues with that.
Outside now here is 2 degrees, if that. The salt spreaders have been at the street tonight, and I'm thinking it wouldn't take many hours for the spiders to die if the heat went off.
Yeah,
if you insulate it well, then it won't drop that much. The biggest mistake that people make when it comes to insulating it is they don't insulate the floor.
Yeah. I don't mind top and bottom, and I think I've got photographs somewhere of actually snow on top of my reptile room in winter, and it literally sat there, which shows the insulation effect.
It's working, yeah.
Because the amount of heat that was going on underneath it was incredible. But the only time you saw any of it where it was wet rather than frozen was around the vent. Literally a couple of inches around the vents. That was it. Yeah. It works well, the old insulation.
I'm sorry, I'm just looking at it. Looking in the comments. Tanya said she lost a few slings during the heat wave of the summer.
I saw a lot of that this summer.
Yeah, I did. But is that due to overheating, though?
I would imagine. I would probably hazard a guess that
humidity.
Yeah, it's probably down to humidity. Even if you've got a sling in a very small pot, and then that's in a position where it's going to get really warm, then the air humidity within that sling is going to be horrendous. It's going to be really high. So,
and the humidity, when the humidity levels are higher, it actually creates like an effect where it makes it feel warmer.
Yeah, it can make it. I would probably hazard a guess that the slings are being lost, not so much to the heat, but it will be through the humidity that's developed within their enclosures.
Yeah,
I would think. But then there's also as well, you've got to be careful on positioning as well. You know, you might have, if not everyone's lucky enough to have a designated room, and some people, they've got them all around the house in their living room, whatever. And it might be that they're okay on a shelf in the living room, but then for half an hour of the day when the sun comes around, it absolutely roasts them, and then it goes past them again.
Yeah,
that could be, it could be something as simple as that. It's there's so many different little factors to take into account.
That's all mine are in the living room, but they don't get any direct. No direct sunlight hits any of them, though.
Yeah,
mine are all right here in my room. I don't get any direct sunlight.
My house is very odd. I've got a huge window at the front and a huge window in the kitchen. The sun rises in the kitchen window and then sets in the sitting room window. So my spiders are on the back wall there. But yeah, during the hot summer time, I have to pull the curtain over to stop the sun shining on them.
Yeah. You'd roast them in no time at all.
But in all fairness, because of the way that the TV and the window it have to be positioned, I have to pull the curtains over to see anything in the house anyway. It's that bright.
See, I have the sun coming through the window, which is here, like all day. It rises on it basically goes like that. So I have to have the blind down a lot.
Yeah. I don't think people think about where their spiders are in their home in accordance with direct sunlight.
No, I think they put them. Oh, they'll look good there.
Yeah.
I've just got a blackout blind.
Another mistake that people make in the high temperatures is actually opening the windows.
Yeah.
Just lets the hot air in.
Yeah, definitely.
Whereas obviously, I tend to keep the window shut, curtain shut, keeps it cooler.
Yeah.
Clever thinking.
Got to be done.
I'm just trying to read some of these comments. Never keep any enclosure near a window, door, or vent. No, definitely not. Yeah, but the problem is with Jaden, he hasn't got blackout curtains to keep the transfers cool. He hides in there and pulls the blinds down, doesn't he?
This room holds heat really well. It's
when you're going through puberty like he is,
I didn't see it. I don't even want to know, y'all.
He didn't want the neighbours catching him jamming one out.
Some of them bounces that I've seen him doing to them spiders, That's why.
Sorry, Jaden.
Getting picked on, aren't you, mate?
He's very quiet. Look, he's gone very quiet.
Yeah.
Come on, John.
I'm eating it. Well, I'm trying to finish this cookie. Yeah.
You're always eating.
I'm always eating. Charlotte and the kids made some cookies yesterday. So.
Or one invert in your collection that took you a long time to find, that you were hunting for or whatever for a long time, that was on your wish list and that you've got now.
You talking to me?
Yeah. What?
Sorry, what was that?
What invert or tarantula? What invert have you got there that you wanted for a long time? It took you a while to find that you've now got one that you really wanted.
Oh, bloody hell!
All of them.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I tend to find. I tell you, the oddest ones actually was probably my my blondie. I steered clear of them for a long, long time. I had one years and years and years ago when I first got into it, and then they just showed no interest to me whatsoever. I just weren't interested in the slightest. Sturmies, all of them. I used to just
got any of them yet.
Yeah, I never used to bother me. But then I saw. I started seeing, because one of my things is I hate seeing a bare abdomen on a spider. I absolutely hate it. I don't know why. It just
me too.
Yeah, I just don't like it. So and most of the ones you saw were always bare ass. So I sort of thought, well, no, I don't really like that. But then I think the last year or so, there's been some real nice ones come up on Facebook and that. People have been showing theirs, and that sort of spurred my interest. And then I suppose the last 4 or 5 years, I've been far more breeding orientated. I suppose I've just got to a stage where I've had so many different things, and now I sort of just try and concentrate on certain things. Once I've bred it and done it a couple of times, then I'll move to something else and go like that. So that's where the things lie for me now, really, rather than particular species. I think it's quite difficult when you look at new spiders coming on, because some of them nowadays demand such a high price.
Yeah.
You know, and
tell me about it.
I can't get my head around some of the prices. You know, I just sort of look at it and think, how on earth can you ask that for that? You know, and I did fall into it. I mean, I bought some Brazilian jewels beginning of the year purely because I got a really, really good deal. That was the only reason I'd done it, because I wouldn't have done the normal asking price.
How many have you got?
I started off with 5, and I've got 3 left. They took a little while to get them actually settled, and I've still got one that it will set up a trapdoor, and then it'll have a molt, and then it will take absolutely weeks and weeks and weeks before it will settle down and do another trapdoor. It's quite a strange spider. It's they're not easy.
I look at some species and think I would love to own one of them, and then when I look and think,
I don't want it that much.
£150 for a sling. Now, it's a lot of money for a sling that might not make it.
Yeah, I look at something like the Birus. You know, I was in them for a while, but they're mega bucks. You know, they're really, really pricey, but they're coming down real fast as well. Yeah. And I think it's you got the people that have got some serious money to invest. They'll buy them up first, and then they'll breed them. They'll make it kill the first year, 18 months, and then the price falls away again.
And
you know, they'll be looking for the next big thing.
See, I've got a male Mei Hong Song, and I was looking for a female for it, and I thought, I don't know whether I can justify spending that much money on a spider. They are pricey still. I'm you know.
It's difficult.
It's sad. Try living up here.
I think it's difficult when you're buying slings as well, because I think most of you know, whenever I'm buying slings, I tend to buy between sort of 6 and 10 at a time.
Yeah.
To try and make sure that I've got females, and my my theory is that I should, in theory, get a couple of females. The males are mature quicker, and I'll just sell them on straight away, get rid of them. Yeah. And then hopefully, if I end up out of, say, 10 slings, if I end up with 3 or 4 females, I can sell 2 or 3 and get my money back. Yeah. And then that will pay for my next project of slings. And I try to do it like that. But when you're looking at £100, £150 a sling, that's not really a viable proposition anymore.
No, it's not.
It's like the Valhallas here in the United States. They were going for like $400 or $500 a sling.
Yeah.
Your prices out there are crazy, though.
Oh, yeah.
As were the Celadonias.
Yeah, like T. Sturmies, I see slings all the time online for like 120 to 150 bucks a piece, just for a little half-inch sling.
Yeah. Look at how much the Afona Pelma Mores are going for. It's an Afona Pelma. It's native to our country. Why are they $350? Like,
I got mine as part of a collection I bought.
The prices never baffle me because you see one person selling something for £100, and then I was sifting through something the other day, and I'm like, £20, that can't be right. And he'd sold it, but he was selling like an adult Chilensis for £20, and I'm like, was that really £20? He went, yeah, I sold it. He only paid £2 for it.
You can't even buy insurance.
30 years ago.
Yeah. Have we set up trade with Europe yet?
No.
No.
Yeah. That can have a massive impact.
How much does one single Balfour sling cost over there?
We can get them for like £5.
$5.50.
Do you know? I was looking on a website yesterday for one single Balfour sling, $70.
Wow.
For one.
For 1 centimeter.
I don't know, but it couldn't have been an adult.
See,
I've seen half-inch Balfour for like $60.
The prices dip up and down because I got 5 for $150.
I paid
even that.
Have you still got any Balfour available, Dave?
No, I sold all of mine. I hung on to. I think I've got 30 that I kept for myself, which I'm going to set up a communal with. Nice. But the rest I sold, and I sold them. They were £10 each. And when I looked online and what have you, they were going anywhere between £12.50 and £15 each.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh well, £10 seems a fair price. Because I don't really, the way I look at it with my spiders, they pay for themselves. Right. So whatever I get from a successful breeding just finances my next project or what I want to do. And that's how I try and do it, so that my hobby doesn't really cost me any money. That's why I do. It's taken a long time to get to that stage.
I was going to say, I'm at the stage at the minute where 90% of mine are too young to breed.
Yeah.
Same here.
But then you find once you start going down the breeding route, you stop looking at slings so much. And like if I've got something in mind that I want to do and I'm desperate to do it, then I'll look for adult females straight off the bat.
Although
got to that stage now.
I have got a big adult female classy at the minute, and I'm thinking I need to find a male.
Well, see, the thing is, once you've got your female,
me now.
once you've got your females, I mean, all you're waiting on is a molt.
Yeah.
That's how I look at mine. So if I go to the shows and that, and I buy spiders or whatever, I don't attempt to breed anything anymore until I get that molt. And then once I've got the molt, then I'm full steam ahead. Then
she molted 8 months ago, so I've got to wait another 5 years now.
Have you got any new additions planned, Dave?
Yeah, I'm sort of. I've got a few want to venture a bit more into the wolf spiders. I want to do a bit more with them, and I'm really keen to do my funnel webs. So I'm slowly building them up now. Yeah, I've got a few different little projects that are just coming near to maturity. Or well, for the end of next year, yeah. So in a year's time, I've probably got about 5 projects that will be of a breedable age by then. But yeah, I want to do a little bit more with some of the true spiders. I do like them.
Yeah, you do. I've noticed. I've been watching.
Yeah.
I want to get myself a 6-eyed fishing spider.
I've kept them. Yeah, they're really interesting actually.
They get quite big, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
Guard's videos on them because he's done one because he had one in.
He's got one on a egg sack right now, doesn't he?
What?
I
Cool.
know he's done a few videos.
Might have to hit him up.
Yeah, because most of them types of things, they're all coming in wild caught. So you know, it's.
I think Dark and Kieran and Gar done a video in the same week on the same spider.
Good day. Bye, Jared.
See you later, Jared.
Oh, bye, Jared. Well, how you? We'll talk later, honey.
Darcy, I gotta say, you sounded really southern there.
Yeah.
Do what?
You sounded really southern there.
Tarantula Sophie said that she wishes her Dichromatus was big enough to breed so she could send it to you, Dave.
Yeah.
She doesn't want to touch the Dichromatus.
I couldn't believe it. I bought that in as a female, and literally the other day I was sitting there and I was going to set up a new enclosure for it because it's still in. Well, as is typical with them, I bought it. No one wanted to get it out, and they wouldn't let me get it out. So it was like, keep it whatever it's in, just take the lot. And I was like, okay. So it's still sat in the same tub, and I literally opened it up the other day, and I thought, I need to have a proper look at you because I really haven't seen you properly. And I looked and I was like,
Door's just going quick, sorry.
Bloody male. You know.
Male?
Yeah. So, so I was a bit disappointed with that. And then, of course, I put a post up, like, anyone got a female? And, there's a couple of people who've got them, but they don't want to part with them. And,
so you send you a male to me.
yeah, that's pretty much what it is.
Yeah.
So, we're, I'm not sure. I'll probably end up sending him on because even if I manage to get a female now, I won't necessarily know when it molted out, and it could just all be a waste of time. And I've done that in the years ago. I used to do that. I just get a spider. Oh, let's try and put them together, and and then the damn thing molts out. 3 weeks later or whatever. And so I don't bother wasting my time anymore unless it's molted with me. It don't get paired.
Yeah,
I see a lot of that too.
Yeah, because I've had people where I've bought spiders. And they're like, oh, yeah, it molted out last week, and I'm like, oh, great. So I buy it and I bring it in, I pair it up, and then I'm just getting through near to time, and all of a sudden it throws a molt. And I'm like, hang on a minute, I only molted 4 weeks ago. What's going on now? And he's sort of, so I don't trust anything now unless I've done it myself.
My Rufus molted 5 or 6 times in a year.
Yeah. Yes, the slings, if you feed them, depending on how you're feeding them, they can molt out real quick.
I know, it's bigger than a sling. It's a juvie. It molted. Oh, yeah. Every time I looked in the tank, I'm like, you've molted again?
Wow.
It'll be a male. It's slowed down now. It's only molted twice so far this year.
Yeah. I must admit, I was a bit gutted the other day. I came into the room and one of my Metallicas had molted out. And I paired up, I paired six females and 3 have molted.
Females?
Yeah. Yeah, I paired 6 females and 3 have molted. And one of the ones that molted, I paired again. So I'm just waiting now, but they're not looking particularly hopeful. It's been a bad year, actually, all round.
I've got a
female
Metallica, but they're brother and sister, so I'll give you a shout when the male matures. He's about 4.5, 5 inches.
Yeah. Yeah. How big's your female?
This pretty much. She's a little bit smaller than him.
Yeah, I've got a feeling with my ones, I've sort of come down to the conclusion that perhaps they were just a little bit too young.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping maybe, next year they might just be better. So I might just give them a bit of a bumper spring, feed them right up, get them all molting again, and then try them again. But yeah, it's been a bit poor on the pokey front, to be honest.
Yeah, saying that, I've got a Busker Lowland, and I only knew it was there because the food was disappearing. And I looked last night, it was on the side of the tank, and that is really good. The last time I saw it, it must have been 2 inch. It must have been pushing 4 or 5 now.
Yeah.
Hiding behind mountain.
Yeah, they look smart when they start getting on some size.
Yeah, it looks a bit leggy at the moment. So
yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah, no, they're interesting. It's there's a lot to be learned, guys. You paired yours, did you, Clayton?
Paired what? Sorry.
Your Metallicas. Didn't you pair them a little while back?
Craig's female molted. We left the female in for a couple of weeks. No, we left the male in, sorry, with the female for a couple of weeks. And then she actually ended up molting again. Which was pretty gutting. So we've still got 2 mature males. It was weird because both our females molted at the same time.
Yeah.
Really. So Tarantula Sophie said, "You can have our Dicromatus if you want, Dave. It's bonkers, but you've got to collect it."
Where are you? Where are you?
He's in the car now.
Yeah. I don't know what to do with that, to be honest. It was one of them ones that I thought would be a bit of fun, but and you don't really hear of anyone breeding them, do you? So I thought
a Dicromatus.
Yeah, he messaged me actually and said he'd got one, and I thought, oh great, marvelous. You want to get rid of it? No.
Birmingham. He's in Birmingham.
Yeah. Oh bloody hell, Birmingham. Jesus. Yeah.
Yeah,
put it in the post.
Some females.
Post it.
Yeah, post it.
By the sounds of it, I think that she doesn't want to get out of the tank. She wants you to get it out for her.
Do you know what? I've spoken to a couple of people since I put that post up, and it seems like there's a few people that have got them, but no one actually wants to open the lid.
Are they really that bad?
Oh, well, do you know what? I got this male, and I mean, he's pretty quick, I'll be honest, he's fast, but yeah, he's no worse than anything else. I mean...
Yeah, Craig's female was good as gold.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
He was really shocked because he said it was just good as gold. He did have a recording of it.
Yeah, I'd like to see
what they are. I was trying to think what they were, and someone said that they had one that was an absolute head case as well.
Yeah, I think it's I don't know. I think it's. I found the footsteps weren't that bad either. To be fair, I think most of them were pretty good.
She's just written, "I'm not boxing up that thing. It'll probably rob the van."
You're insured? What's the matter with you?
Can you imagine trying to tell the insurance company, "I don't want to get in the van because there's a mad spider in there"?
Yeah. I'll tell you, the way people talk about them, you can imagine, couldn't you? There'd be a box sitting in the back of the van cursing and swearing all the way there.
I'm sure when Craig's molts, it will end up being a nut job.
Yeah, I think they're definitely one that I'm gonna have a little bit of a play around with. I do like them.
It would be awesome to see some pairing footage of that.
Yeah, I think it's got to be done, isn't it? You don't see them anywhere. No one ever puts up any pictures of them or anything. So
I've seen in the last 6 months. I didn't know what they were until was it Kieran that had?
No, Craig's got one.
Steve Turner had one, didn't he?
Steve Turner.
No,
I'm not sure.
Steve, can't remember his name is now. The enclosure guy, Steve Thornton.
Oh, did he?
Steve Thornton.
It did, but it didn't survive. I'm sure he said he had one. That it was an absolute fruit loop. I'm sure it was him.
And it didn't
I'll have to
survive.
give him a message.
I'm sure it was Steve Thornton. I might be wrong, but I'm sure he said that he got one, and it didn't last long. It wasn't very well when he got it, and it didn't last long.
What species are you on about?
See, the thing is, Dave, you've got to convince someone to sell it to you.
But Lee at DSS had some, didn't he?
Yeah. He's got some. Well, he did have some subadults and that. But yeah, that was going to be my sort of next thing, was to message him and see what he had available.
Yeah.
But I'd probably, with them, I would imagine I'm stuck really, because I'll probably just end up moving my male on, because I'm not going to get a female that I can be sure's ready.
Yeah.
So, I'd have to wait for that molt, and then by the time all that happens, the chances are he'll be past it or whatever.
Or a jack.
Yeah. It'll be like one of me horriders. That is,
Yeah. What? That last night, Colin messaged me. And Stephen Bass had a male chromatus that he paired with his chromatus. And he said to me a few months later, he said, if that chromatus is still alive, I'll send it to you. He said, bearing in mind, though, he matured 6 to 8 months ago. So he sent me the chromatus, who'd bred with my female. And then I kept him here for another couple of months. And then I sent him to Colin. And I said, he probably ain't any good, because he's pushing a year old now. He looks half dead. Colin messaged me last night and said, my female dropped a sack. So old Stephen Bass male did the business.
nice.
He paired with Colin's female, and 3 weeks later he died.
Yeah.
So that's how close to death he was.
Bloody hell. Yeah, because he had quite a big sack, didn't he, Steve?
Yeah. Mine laid a sack. It was Phantom, and she got off the sack after 10 days, and then she passed away. So something was obviously wrong with her.
I remember you putting that post up. Yeah. Because I've just
Sad, dude.
I remember that.
I've got a freshly molted female at the moment. That I'm looking for a male for it now.
Yeah.
Big
Emil-
size as well.
Emil contacted me last week, and he reckoned he had one, but it was whether it survived up until last weekend. But I've not spoke to him since.
Right.
But yeah, and I've also freshly malted Marshelli as well,
Very nice.
which is I'm hopefully should have got a male for that actually today.
I've got a Marsh. She's sub-adult.
Where did you manage to find the male from?
That was someone I put a post up on the page, and I can't remember who it was now contacted me, but they said they had one.
Kieran's getting one from Danny, I know that.
I think he's got it. I think he posted it today.
What was that? The Chromatus or the Marshelli?
The Marshalli.
Marshelli. Let me know if you still need a Chromatus, like if it doesn't go well with a meal.
Sorry, Dan?
I've got 2 fresh mature Chromatus males.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
Oh, bloody hell. Greedy sod.
I've got 1 fresh female, and the other one I've got to wait for a molt. So I'm sure I can send you one.
Oh, nice one. Have you not got a female to pair them then, or?
I've got one female ready, but I've got 2 fresh mature males. So.
Oh, cracking. Nice one. I watched your video the other day on the Red Rivers.
Calcodies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, we've paired them both before, didn't we, on live?
Yeah.
We've done it 2 times on live and it went well, but that time I've not paired them again.
Yeah.
Since.
Yeah, it was interesting to watch. He's well game.
He's making time webs like there's no tomorrow.
Was it you, Dave, that I contacted
He's
about when I
even bigger now, dude.
or I couldn't get my geniculata?
Yes, yeah, I think it was, yeah.
I
Yeah.
eventually basically, I sent the mail off. He was in there. I Shark Tanked him, and he was in there, and she didn't do anything. She didn't go for him. She didn't do nothing. So I took him out. 4 or 5 weeks later, he molted. So I got another male, and I stuck him in, and they paired for like 9 minutes, and then she tapped again, and he went close to her, and she tried to eat him, the little sod. I left it 10 days, and I put him back in, and she tapped and drummed, and he went close, and she tried to grab him again. So I'm hoping that she's paired and wanting a big meal, you know what I mean? But
Yeah,
she's looking plump, and she's eating like a horse.
When I done mine, it was really obvious when he was successful with her. You see, it's quite dramatic when they do that insemination. They're actually quite rough. The genicular, they really sort of ram it home, you know.
Yeah, and she stayed in that position with her legs up for about 20 minutes after I took him out. She went for him. And I took him out, and she just stayed there with her legs up there for forever. I'm like, all right, fair enough.
Yeah.
That was a big O.
Yeah.
Could be good.
So yeah, I've been keeping an eye on her. She's eating like a horse, and she's getting big. But August, September, October, November. It's only been 4.5 months. So
It could be any time, really. It could, you know, from now onwards. But I'd go careful with the food now.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't go giving her too much in the way of food anymore.
I've been giving her sort of like 1 or 2 medium-sized food items a week. She hasn't overeaten, but I noticed that when you drop the food in, she goes for it quicker. I didn't mean that I was overfeeding her. I meant she gets excited when the food gets in the tank.
Yeah, that's because they're really food orientated, aren't they? They got a really savage food response.
Yeah,
my female wasn't.
The tank is theirs.
I'll probably get unpacked there, take care of what I need to take care of. As for like my spider and stuff, I gotta make sure they're all set up, make sure my kids are set up.
Okay.
I will
Hang on.
Is that you, Darcy?
I think Darcy's watching something.
Darcy's watching.
his car.
You're right, Darcy.
No, I think I looked into it. You're like 11
Yes,
hours.
she's not listening. So.
I guess.
Darcy, are you on Pornhub again?
Do what? I'm sorry. Like
Weird, that.
We can hear what you were listening to.
Dave said, "Are you on Pornhub again?"
My daughter has impeccable timing, y'all. She could not want to talk to me all day long, and the minute I sit down to do a stream, she's like I'm on the stream. And then she wants to voice clip me. I'm like, I'm on the stream. Sorry. So I had the mic muted. I was like, I can still listen, but they don't have to hear what I'm doing.
See, because I'm like that. Well, I'm delving into about 4 reading them at the minute, and I.
Yeah.
So that's to come on the channel. Probably.
You know, you don't like how Corey do.
Mate, you should see how many ready females I got, and I've got another 2 mature males coming.
Now the heating's clicked on, yeah, mine are all out, and I'm thinking, damn, you're looking big compared to when I put you in there 6 months ago.
Still waiting for a rehouse.
You know, I took my singles out and rehoused them because I had them set up in such a way that I never saw them. If I tell you, the one, when I spray down the enclosure, it'll come out. Like last night, it came out and it was walking around, and I was like, oh, you must be hungry. The other one, I have literally an inch of substrate and a hide.
Hey, Jojo.
Because what kept happening is she would get up under everything and make all these web and close everything off. She would never come out to eat. Like, I could never find any place to feed her. Now, you can't tell me for 9 months this spider has been in pre-molt. There's just no way. So I was like, well, okay, let's try this and see what happens, right? No, this bitch did the exact same thing. She webbed everything and has got this little hammock now that she's all sealed off just under the cork tube. I'm like, I give up.
That's why you need to put them in multiples. Mine. I've got.
Called honey.
I enjoy too much making like single Balfours. I like constructing it out of clay and stuff. Like they're sort of burrow.
I mean, I feel bad because like I've torn her home up twice, but it's like work with me here. Like you never come out. I can't put any live prey in there. I tried to feed her the other day. She had a pet roach for 3 days. I was like, well, okay. If I don't open something and kill it and leave it there, this Balfour, she never comes out. Ever.
That's really odd.
It's lazy.
How many legs it got?
How many what?
I said, how many legs it got?
Oh dear me.
You break up and my internet is crap. So I know you said something about legs. I think maybe not. It's about to have no legs. Just stay still.
No, White Johnny's not well. He's sick.
That is the only thing that stresses me out. Like nothing else stresses me out. Just that one Balfour.
I think most of mine will probably be out at the minute to heating them.
Yeah, when I've got the heat on, they're all up on that glass together.
Dave, have you had any signs with your Caribbean Avispula?
No, I had one drop to sack, and then got right up to literally days before hatching, and that's it.
No way.
So that was that one gone, and then one of my verses I lost. She plumped right up, and then just keeled over. Absolutely no idea why. I don't know what happened there at all.
I hear you, Happy Willow.
These were verses that I'd raised from slings. So they'd had a good sort of... yeah.
Troy, would you stop pinching her off camera, please? Hi, Willow.
She's got shy now.
Only now and then. Sometimes she talks to us. Sometimes not.
Sometimes she does.
Craig, are you going to play your Avic again?
I mean, I might try again, see where it goes, see if they do anything. But she might just beat him the first time. Like as soon as he goes near her, we'll find out. But I've got
Hi.
Hello.
He just sneaked in, didn't he?
Dark now noticed he was here.
Someone was saying that they want an ogre faced tarantula. That's Dinopiss, isn't it?
Dinopiss, yeah.
You've got them, haven't you?
I did have them. They're really hard to keep in captivity, like a lot of tree spiders. Didn't work out.
I would keep one.
The way that I can gather that you'd have to keep them is like a massive tank for like one of them until you pair them or whatever.
Because they do catch their prey with a web in there on their legs and just drop the web on them. Is that right?
So like the front, they come under like net casting spiders. They do it a few different ways, but these ones they'll make like a what's it called, scaffolding, and they'll build this web that's it's got like a very elasticy quality to it, and it's covered in this stuff that reacts with the wax on the moths and whatever else it catches, the flies. It goes like glue, like a plastic glue. It goes like that. It goes solid, and they just wrap it up and eat it that way. And their egg sacs are really, really cool. They're like perfectly cylindrical, perfectly circular, like round, like balls. Like they're amazing animals. If you haven't seen the Frank One's video on Dinopiss, like go and watch it. It's really good. It's really, really good.
It's awesome, the name though, Dinopiss. But I don't know. I'm
to keep like in captivity.
Yeah.
I guess it's so different without your glasses.
Yeah, I've left them downstairs, I think, and I can't bother to go and get them. I can see at this range, so it doesn't really matter.
If I don't have my glasses on, I don't see anything.
You got your red runners behind you, Craig.
Yeah. Cheers, Dave.
I got mine up there.
You give them a month, you'll be overrun with them.
Yeah, well, Jaden, this was Jaden's plan all along because he told me that you were selling red runners, and I was just like, oh, okay. And I ended up buying a load, and he knows I've only got like a limited number of tarantulas, everything elite, but I've got a lot less than him, so I'm going to be overrun, and he's going to just take red runners off me.
I wish I
Make
was
sure you sell them to him.
You know what? I couldn't keep them. Mine would not breed. And I gave up. Right, I'm going to feed what's in there to my tarantulas, and I'm going to give up. I opened the tank, and there were thousands in there. They're dread. They must have heard me and thought, right, let's breed.
Yeah.
I just
It's
got
nice
too
and
many
warm in
too.
here. Like all the mantises, like everything likes it nice and warm. So
I've got mine sat on a heat mat.
Amy's does really well. Amy's like her colony's thriving.
Dave's does stupidly well.
And that goes back to what Dave was saying. What works for one doesn't work for the other. You don't know how many videos I saw on red runners. I'm like, okay, I'm doing everything y'all are doing, except mine don't hatch. They're laying the Uthicas. This, what I have to do, I have to take all the Uthicas out. I put them in another bin with some cocoa fiber, and once a day I mist them, and they hatch like this. But until I started doing that, they would never hatch.
How often do you take the Uthicas out?
Huh?
How often do you take the Uthicas out?
Like every couple days.
Yeah.
And then I have a piece of egg crate in with the Uthica, and as they climb onto the egg crate piece, I take it and I just smack it into the bin with the other roaches. But they will not hatch. I have a heat mat, everything. Like they won't hatch in there, so I separate them.
It's really interesting.
Now, when it gets to be like a big colony, it probably won't be real groovy to do that. Maybe it'll sort itself out. I don't know. I don't know if it's our humidity here because we're in Tennessee and it tends to be a lower humidity. I'm not sure. I just don't know.
What works for one?
See, I have babies.
Back to what we were saying earlier.
Yeah,
Do
so
you have food in there all the time, Darcy?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't want them to eat each other.
Yeah.
Dave puts like a scattering of the food on the floor, so don't you?
I
even watch Dave's video.
They don't tend to eat the bran.
Yeah.
I just use the bran because it keeps them cleaner. And then obviously they'll lay their egg cases down into the bran and stuff and what have you. But generally they lay it all up in the egg crate.
Yeah.
And I find that's where it all goes on. But yeah, the bran's there really just to keep things dry and clean. That's the general idea.
I use a brand layer because that's when you sent me some with it. The first time I got some, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I hear people that don't have anything on the floor at all.
No, I don't.
I find it gets really messy. It gets really messy.
But it's easy to clean. I find it easy to clean when there's nothing in the bottom.
See, I don't clean mine. So I don't clean them out. I say I don't clean them out. I don't clean them out for probably, I don't know, maybe 3 months or so.
And then you just transfer everything.
You have a clean-up crew.
No. Only what I have got in mine. I put it up on one of my videos. Actually, I've got dermestid beetles.
Yeah, I saw them in there.
Yeah, they came in. I'm not 100% sure how I ended up with them in there. To be totally honest,
The beetles are amazing. No, they're really cool.
Yeah, I mean they're in there and they're doing a full-on thing. But I did wonder whether they were actually taking some of the egg cases and eating some of the young roaches. I wasn't 100% sure, so I actually tried to clean them out of a couple of my colonies because I've got 6 big colonies on the go, and And I mean, each colony has probably got 6,000 to 7,000 in each.
Wow.
Something like that. Yeah, it's a fair few. So what I tend to do is I keep them going in a colony for about 3 months or so. And then if it starts getting damp, then I clean them all out. But what I do is I set up a fresh colony with all new substrate, new cards, new everything. And then I literally take the old ones out, shake them in the new bin, and then I put all the old ones back in the old colony when it's empty, and I leave that in the corner. And then for the next couple of weeks, everything will just hatch out of that, and I'll just do it like that. And then I've got all the babies from that one then, because the way I keep them, it's very difficult for me to separate babies from the rest of it.
Yeah,
I wonder how you did that.
Yeah, so when what I try to do is if I've got a lot of really young slings, then I'll perhaps clean one of my colonies early, purely so that I can just have the fresh hatch on its own, and I can just tap them off and put them in a tub on their own then.
And I will say the way that I have to hatch mine is very convenient because I have 4 very, very, very tiny Grammostola pulchripes. Very tiny. Like they are nymph eaters. And that's how I feed them. I feed them with the nymphs from when I get ready to shake them over. I just smack it in a cup and pull out what I need and feed them. But it makes it easier that way. I mean, it's a pain in the ass, like I said, and I'm sure that once my colony is very well established, it's not going to be convenient for me to do that. But hopefully I'll figure it out between now and then. I just don't know if maybe I need to sit like a dish with some holes in it with water in it down in there for humidity. Like I haven't worked it out yet. I'm just not sure.
Yeah, I keep mine dry.
Right.
And they breed like mad. But then I also hear of people that keep them on soil, damp soil, and theirs breed really well.
That's how I have to hatch my Utica. Like I said, I miss them every day. The cocoa fiber is dry, but it just gives them something to lay on. And I just go in there with my spray bottle and I just mist them once a day. And I don't know if they're requiring that little bit of water that I'm like, I don't spray my colony. Amy actually sprays her colony because she and I talked about it. I tried that. It didn't work. Maybe I just didn't try it long enough. I don't know.
I found that one thing that might be of interest actually is I've noticed when my colonies get to a certain size and they get so they're literally overcrowded to the enclosure that they're in, I find that they generate a huge amount of heat, and then that heat then turns into humidity within the tank, and that's when the colony starts to suffer. So I found that with mine, as soon as it starts getting humid, they start dying off. So you don't get the breeding and what have you. But I find that humidity seems to come from overcrowding.
Hers is banging, and she still missed them down once a week. That's what I'm saying. Everybody says, oh, they're so easy to, well, apparently not, because I have to separate my Utica. So apparently there's a science that Darcy has not figured out yet.
my dubias are doing quite well.
I'm determined.
Dubias.
I love dubias. I wish more of my tarantulas would eat them. But the fact is, and I only have 25, so I don't have a big collection, but the only 2 that will eat a dubia, no, 3, is my Albo, my Samani, and my Platioma.
Oh,
those are the only 3.
You put it in.
Jaden,
and they don't like worms.
Do any of yours eat dubias, Jaden?
My Balfouris love them.
Do you want me to send you a load of males down?
Troy, you got an abundance of dubias, don't you?
Can I put in? I'm going to have to shoot because I've got food on the way.
Yeah, we're going to call it now anyway because it's an hour and a half in. Dave, thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, you're amazing, Dave. Thank you very much for coming on.
If I had my way, Dave would be here every week. I'm just saying.
Guys, if you haven't, but you probably are, go subscribe to Dave's Little Beasties.
100%.
Yes. If you're not, you need to be.
Yeah.
You're too kind.
You actually, you're monetized now as well, aren't you?
Yes. Yeah. I hit that 1,000.
I've seen the ads come up now.
Yeah. But I've not actually done anything with it. Well, you know when you put your edit up, don't you, and you start to upload it all.
Yeah.
I literally just clicked on the adverts to come on at the beginning, and I think halfway through or something. I don't actually watch my own videos, but it's.
Be careful with when you do the mid rolls. Yeah. Sometimes it uploads about 9.
Oh right.
I was watching somebody the other day, and I was so pissed. I'm like, how many freaking ads are you people going to put in this 15-minute video? Like, I was mad, and I can't remember. I want to say it was Tarantula Haven, and it just pissed me off. I was like,
see, sometimes we just put the ads on and we forget about it.
Yeah, to be honest, I just like clicked on a couple of boxes and done that, and I've not done. I mean, everyone keeps telling me to sort of get on this merchandise business and do that, and I haven't yet. And,
see, I still don't sell merch.
Yeah, and you can. Yeah, I mean, you've done. Haven't you done a members thing now for your channel?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I haven't looked into that or anything like that yet either. So
I honestly would suggest it.
I'm a bit
too when it comes to the old technological stuff. To be fair.
Yeah, but you got all the right people here that can help you, though.
I'm going. My dude's coming.
Take it easy, Neil.
See you later.
All right, Neil.
Yeah, guys. Speak to you later.
But yeah, I think the if it weren't for my wife, I wouldn't be on here now. It's I find it a bit of a minefield, to be fair. Leave me with breeding spiders; it's a lot easier.
I think you've aced it though, dude. You've honestly aced your channel.
Yeah, I really enjoy it. I'll be fair. It's I mean, I only started it up because I got sent off work for 3 weeks on a forced lockdown thing, and I'm one of these people that can't sit still. You know, if I haven't got something to do, then I'll be honest with you, I am your worst nightmare. I really am. I'm an absolute.
His wife says, "Find something to do."
That's exactly what she said to me.
You sound like my granddad used to be.
Babe, I love you, but.
Yeah, that's exactly what she said. And then I've been putting a few videos and bits and pieces, like some pairing videos, up on like just on the Facebook page, and a couple of friends said, "Oh, you should try that YouTube lark," you know, and I was like, I haven't got a clue how to do any of that. You know? I'm
so glad you did.
Yeah, I really enjoy it, and it's been nice. You know, I've met a lot of people and things like that, and I'm looking forward to the shows kicking off. I can often sort of meet some people in person, you know. But it's a really cool community. You know, there's so much going on, and I mean, it's there's always something of interest. You know, I mean, I've learned just as much through watching everybody else. You know, you never learn it all. So it's you know, there's something to glean from everything. It really is.
So one last question before I play the outro is, are you ever going to do a live?
I've been asked about this a few times. Yes.
No pressure.
I think. Do you know what? I wouldn't mind doing one. Just do like a question and answers type thing.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I've seen
the ability to use your phone now.
Hey?
You have the ability to stream from your phone onto YouTube now.
Oh, flipping heck!
Because you're monetized.
Oh right. Oh, I didn't even know that. You see?
Yeah. 1,000 subs. You need to hit 1,000, and I think it glitches, and then when you're monetized, it lets you.
Let Jaden let Jaden guide you through the ways of YouTube. He's got quite good at it over the course of the last year.
I've never done a mobile stream though. That's the one thing I've never done yet.
But you don't really need to at the minute. Like you do everything from you. You could use it at some point when you do random stuff, like something happens, something cool. You'll remember one day and just be like, "Oh yeah."
When I'm allowed out.
I noticed you do a lot of live streams and that now, don't you? And a lot of premieres. And what's the theory behind all of that?
It's just to bring everyone into one place so they can talk about stuff. The stream chat, because with a premiere, it acts like a live, like the way it does, and it does it unfortunately, it does it in the same way as when you've got like a 4K video. It doesn't come up in 4K. It only does 1080p because it's a live stream. But you've got everyone in the chat, and you get like 30. You can have upwards of 30, 40 people, depending on what it is.
Yeah,
and it's just somewhere people can chat about stuff. It's a random old chat.
It's good for the community in a way, just where they can watch it and they can chat. Because we find that a lot of streams that we do, a lot of people like are talking in the chat and they're catching up. And I don't know, it's just what we're all about, really. Me personally, I like doing this because it's more community focused.
I feel the same way.
Obviously, with a premiere, it acts as that, and then anything after that, it just acts as a video, and anyone can watch it like a normal video. But for
Jaden, I'm really sorry. I know you're making a serious point, but can I just point out that look, she's sitting there doing what you're doing, like she's doing the arm movements and stuff as you're talking, and it's absolutely adorable.
She's adorable.
But yeah, it's just that's what people prefer. They prefer premieres, by the sounds of it.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I think I've been on a couple of these now, and I thoroughly enjoy them. I think it's nice to actually be able to have a conversation with people rather than keep texting, typing, and it's much better. And there's some good discussions come out as well.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, with the Raggy streams, we normally get viewers up, normally quite early from the start. But obviously, we haven't tonight because we've had you on, and I completely forgot about it, to be quite honest. Getting the viewers up, so I'm sorry about that for anyone watching that wanted to come up.
Dave, well, the conversation's been going good anyway.
Would you be looking at taking part in Fatal Fangs 3?
Oh, there's a big one, isn't it? I wouldn't mind having a go. I've actually got a video coming out which is probably, I can't think now whether might be the end of this week or beginning of next week. I've got them all booked for right up to Christmas at the moment. And I forgot when's what's coming out, but I done a tongue feeding one because there was a lot of discussion about should you or shouldn't you sort of tongue feed and all this sort of stuff.
Well, so I thought, challenge.
Yeah, so I thought I'd do one, and then of course the Fatal Fangs thing came along, and I thought to myself, oh yeah, some good bits on there. I quite enjoy that, But I'm up for anything really. I don't mind, I don't take none of it too seriously. I just do my own thing.
That counts.
Yeah, I just enjoy what I do, and hopefully other people enjoy it as well. And that's it. I think none of it's worth getting upset about. That's for sure.
I want TTSNT to take it home.
I think Craig could be going through to the final. Sorry, Kieran.
I reckon he is.
Me and Jaden watched Fatal Fangs together, with one of our American friends, and it was mad, to go through again. But I said I don't think my last clip is all that, and then I sent it to Jaden because it is on my YouTube, but it's just hidden. So I sent him the link, and I was just watch it because he's out of it now. It doesn't matter. And he was just I think you're grossly underestimating your final clip, and I was like, I don't know, I don't think I am.
I generally think it's Kelly and Craig.
Yeah.
In the final.
That's my prediction as well.
And if Craig does go through and Kelly does, I'm a bit worried for Craig, but I think he's going to do well. But
that Mortal Kombat clip was just
yeah.
Oh,
you don't know what Kelly's packing there, dude.
Listen, Kelly came out of nowhere and just brought her game.
Yeah.
I think the thing is, it's one of them, isn't it? It's really on the luck of the day. Whatever's going to happen.
See, the thing is, everyone's going to think for Fatal Fangs 3, you need decent music and that. But it's going to be different judges. So
Yeah.
There's all different
the winner of
elements.
Fatal Fangs
Yeah, they're
2
gonna
is
like
going to be a judge, so you never know. Like,
it's going to be even harder because I guarantee everyone does music for their videos next year.
Yeah.
Guarantee it.
It depends, doesn't it? Because surely she get like a brief for what the judges would be looking for.
nah, because it's like a free for all.
Is it?
Literally just like bring what you've got. Because I've done something different to what a lot of people have done. If you look at the way a lot of people did it, they've done individual songs for individual feeding clips. Mine's one song the whole way through, and it just kind of fit. So I got the song and then I had to do it again because the way I did it, the clips were the wrong length to go with the slots they were supposed to have, like the rounds. I didn't actually think it was going to be a problem because I didn't think I'd get past round 1. But like I talked to Jaden about it and he was like, "Yeah, you got to do it again or reorder it." So I did, and it just kind of worked. And I sent the whole thing to Sam and I was just like, "Hopefully he cuts it up all right," and he did because obviously he does it himself, so he knows what he's looking for. And yeah, it's just apparently it's worked. So it was just luck. Like it's just the way I did it.
Done really well, mate.
I was worried that it was crap. Like, I was worried that they were shit. There is someone in the chat that like got the not the brunt of it. It wasn't bad, but I was just worried that it was crap, all of it. And it turns out it's actually all right.
How did you end up going on there? Was you invited to do it, or did you apply? How did it?
So it started like well before I got into the hobby. Like, well, not well before, but like just before me and Jaden started doing this properly. Sam had done Fatal Fangs 1 and was starting Fatal Fangs 2, and you had loads of people say they'd do it, and then nothing happened for a year because people just didn't turn stuff in. And then because we started doing the TTSNT thing and talking to Amy and stuff, Amy who was like well into it, she said, "Oh, Fatal Fangs," and she was in it as well already, and obviously now she's going to be a presenter on it, or now she's going to run it, which is great. It's really cool. But she was like, "Yeah, it's open again." So me and Jaden, like literally as quick as we could. With work, it's quite difficult sometimes. But it was about a week and a half from when we got told to when we had it in.
Oh, yeah, I'll definitely be up for some of that.
Yeah, it's some of my clips. Some of them are old. Like the one of the Gigas that's up now was one me and Luke. Like she's really small there. That's my big female H Giga, relatively small. And that was when it wasn't long after. No, I had for a few months at that point. And me and Luke were just, I was like, I'm going to feed her. And Luke was there, like back in those days when you could have people around your house and stuff like that. And it was the most perfect feeding clip. And there is the original audio where me and Luke are going, "Oh, fuck, look at those facts." There's the original audio that is still in existence somewhere. But yeah, that's so. It was just right. So I've got a limited amount of time. The wolf spider feeding clip was the original.
That is a great clip, though.
That's my favourite one. Like that is out of all of them.
Why are you trying to copy what I'm saying?
Okay, I'll just say something else before we all go. So next week is the Christmas gift away.
Yes.
So tune in for that. There will be some fancy dress in the background.
I also have a small announcement before we call it off.
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all be able to see this or not.
Hang on.
Wait, Craig, I'll let you do it. Yep. There you go.
Kind of no.
My screen went dark. Let's see.
Virtual exotic.
Rocky Mountain Spider Freaks approached me and asked me if I wanted to co-host a virtual exotic animal expo with them. It'll be Sunday, January 24th. We're gonna have different vendors and presenters coming up. We're trying to get some people to do a couple of like seminars, stuff like that. Just a way in the way things are right now with the whole virus and all that, something to get a little more out there for the community and everything.
Good idea.
Sounds like a cool idea.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
I'll definitely try and make that. All right, guys. So I'm going to play the outro now. But yeah, Dave, thank you, and thank you to obviously everyone here and the viewers as well.
Thank you, Dave.
Thanks for having me.
Dave, it was nice meeting you, man.
Like
You too, mate.
anytime you would like to join us, drop somebody a line. We are more than happy to have you on.
You're too kind.
All right, peace, guys.
All right,
Bye.
guys. Take care, everybody.